Good evening and welcome. Another Wednesday night. Where the hell does the time go? Care Taylor first in the house. John Griffins, Graham Allison, Michael McLaughlin, Denver Skinner. Good evening, all. 6 people. You must be all out watching the Queen's Jubilee. Anyway, on that note, I have a problem. I have monkeypox. No, I've not been up to what you think I've been up to. I just thought I'd get it off my chest. We only have 7 people in the house, 8 people in the house. They are coming in, so they're not all with the Queen. Anyway, how are you going to be celebrating? Frank Casey, good evening to you. So, like I said, I've got some sad news that I've got to get off my chest. I've got monkeypox. My voice is going deep. I've got a craving for bananas. And I'm looking at everything in a different way at the moment. And I've got to say that I hope you like my t-shirt. Specially sent to me. How about that? Monkeypox. Bloody monkey. Looks like tits there, doesn't it? Looks like a pair of tits. Anyway, keep your head down, Chris. They might not see it coming. There you go. So, any questions? We're only answering questions about dogs tonight. It's going to be a quick show, isn't it? So, who have we had in the house? We've had Ian. We've had Ian in the house. And I bet you're all waiting to see the videos, aren't you? You're all waiting to see the videos. Well, I don't know if I'm going to put them up, to be honest with you. I've had to go down and lie in my dark room. Thought you got man boobs. Stop it. Moobs, not boobs. Look at that. I got my eye on you, Gary. Look at him moving. There's still some movement. There's still some movement in there, isn't there? I don't want to stand up and show me my lats. You might be shocked. Ian kept me fit the last few days. Always kept me fit. He's really kept me fit. Ian has. He's had me on my toes. He wants value for money. He wants as many hours as he can get in. Honestly. But we had a great time. Anyway, like I said, we only got 15 people in the house. Some days you wonder whether it's worth it, don't you? But thanks for coming in and not leaving me standing there on my own. Be like the Queen turning up tomorrow, wouldn't it? And nothing's happening. Oh, Peter Taylor's in the house. He's not on holiday. What a freaking difference. He must be back for the Queen's party. Bet he's having a street party with all his mates. Like I said, I don't know what to talk about tonight. Like I don't know what to talk about any Wednesday night, to be honest with you, these days. It started off as a dog training questions and answers, didn't it? And it just turned into a freaking chaotic piss up, didn't it? Not the table. Carlos is in the house as well. Evening. So what I like to talk about, I'd like to talk about a subject. No party for the Taylors. That's the way. So let's have a bit of a chat. And now I know there's a timeline here. Sue's in the house, by the way. So if there's anything I missed, she can call it out. That's if she can be bothered. She's not even said hello, everybody, today, is she?
I couldn't get in.
Honestly, she couldn't get in. She couldn't get in. She can't get out. She can't do nothing. The phone went the other day, and she picked up the mobile, the TV mobile, and passed it to me. I said, "Can you pass me the phone?" She passed me the mobile.
TV remote.
TV remote. I do have a question, Chris. Brilliant, Denver. Thank God somebody has. My younger one stops every time I blow the stop whistle, but always takes 4 or 5 steps closer to the retrieve. Do I punish him, or how do I get it sharper? Denver. What a subject to talk about. It's as if you read my mind. It's exactly the subject I want to talk about. And I'm going to be very, is the word PC? Oh my God, Gary, that's another thing I want to talk about. Chris, my puppy's 7 months old and nutter and runs through nettles and anything in front of him. Should I protect him at this age or let him get stuck in? I'd protect him. 7 months old. He might not care at the moment, but he might get a fear for it. Some dogs don't, some dogs do, Gary. But at the end of the day, Ian's two black cockers, as soon as they touch nettles, just don't really want to hunt. It's like, and they're 12 months old. But at this moment, I think the nettles are quite sharp, and it can create a problem for humans, can't it? It would sting for ages, all day. And if it stings for a dog, it can put them off retrieving sometimes. It depends what association they get when they go in the nettles. If they're getting a positive, sometimes they'll go smashing through it and don't give a shit. But I don't put young dogs through nettles just for the fun of it, or just to see if they're going it. But it's one thing that I like a dog to not even think about when they get a little bit older. So mine run through nettles. Think they're crazy, especially naked, isn't it? Hey, would you run through nettles naked? Vinegar, that's what gets rid of nettles, isn't it? But it also gets rid of your plants. Vinegar, washing up liquid, and forget what it was. There's 3 things, isn't it? You just put it together and you get natural nettle killer that will kill off the nettles. Salt, that was it. And it'll go brown, wouldn't it? And then what I used to do at the backfield, because it bothers some dogs and it doesn't. My pup's got a rash and blisters, but doesn't seem to bother him. Well, I'd be careful then. I wouldn't put the dog in there. I used to take young dogs out the back, and if it bothered them, that's what made me used to like trim it all and keep the nettles right down. There's certain places you've got nettles, you have to get used to them, but unfortunately, it can be off-putting for some dogs. Anyway, let's go back to Denver's question. Great question, because I've had it here. Oh, look at that. Don't look at that, anyone. Don't. Do you know, when I did that, I bet I frightened the shit out of some of you who've just come in. I bet you thought he's got his tits out then for a second, didn't you? Got somebody sat in my lap, a lap dance. Someone's giving me a lap dance. It's a monkey. I've got monkey pox. I won't show you the rest of it. You should see his willy. It's hell of a small. My two never fear nettles. Look at that, Peter. Never fear nettles. Real dogs don't fear nettles, do they? Anyway, back to Denver's question. And this is a question for everybody in the house, and I want you to answer it as honestly as you can. Okay, you're going out shooting with a mate, and you're hunting reasonably close to each other, and you're both carrying a gun. Up gets a bird, your mate blows a stop whistle and fires a shot. Should your dog stop or not? Or should he just carry on hunting? Should it stop or not? Simple question. We've got 20 people in the house. I'm not talking about you're down the valley. Yeah. Stop. So come on. Yes, stop or not. If you say not, it's not stop. If it's stop, it's stop. We've only got 2 people playing. 3, 4, 5. Right, 6. Okay, so if Sue can just keep a note of this, so you agree with me on that. Should stop on the whistle. Hang on, Kerr. Whose whistle? The other guy next to you, who's flushed, his dog's flushed the bird, he blows the stop whistle. What is your dog supposed to do? Is it supposed to carry on hunting or stop? That was the question. And everybody says stop, 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 stop. And you've said, Kerr says stop on the stop whistle. Do you mean it should stop on any stop whistle, or should it stop because of it's heard the long blast? Stop on the flush. You're right. So if the dog that's not flushed the bird, should that carry on hunting when the other guy blows the stop and fires a shot? Should stop on the shot as well. So, but if the two are very close, it may stop on your mate's whistle. Right. So, for instance, we're talking about rough shooting. We're not talking about anything other than rough shooting. Walked up, rough shooting. You're hunting reasonably close with each other. Up gets a bird, fire a shot. If it's a similar whistle, yes. You're right, guys. The dog should stop to shot. the dog should also stop to the stop whistle. The stop whistle sounds very similar with most people. Now, if you've got a different whistle, but guess what I'd do? If I was with my dog and I was hunting with somebody else and I've got a bird, I'd blow my stop whistle. He'd blow his stop whistle, right? Automatically, I would blow my stop whistle. Should my dog stop if I don't blow my stop whistle? Yes, it should. If it's an older dog, it should know what I want it to do. If it sees movement, I want it to stop. Now, this is important, and you might not think it's important, but I want a yes or no if you think I'm right with what I'm saying. A yes or a no. Or if you disagree, why you disagree. It's conditioning the dog to stop. Yep. Both dogs should stop, especially on rabbits, as they could get shot. Dead on. You're dead right. Yep. So we're agreeing, aren't we? I mean, there's a 15-second delay, so it's not as easy as we got a group of people in here and they can all give their opinion. So if I'm training with somebody, if I'm training with someone and I'm going to throw a dummy out, as a trainer, I can read how close to skim that dummy across the dog, put the dog under temptation. It's easy to blow the stop whistle and then throw the dummy in the opposite direction from the dog so you can cut it off if it moves. Do you agree? Now, if I blow my stop whistle when I'm training, and a lot of you have been here, would you say your dog should stop when I blow my stop whistle and throw out a dummy? Care Taylor, what do you mean? Did you have this debate with Ian in the last couple of days? What makes you say that? Let's ask that question, shall we? Because that was funny. The way you've said that is as if you know something. Doesn't matter if you do know something, you're not dropping anyone in it. But I agree, you should also blow the stop as well as your mate. Hang on. I'm trying to put this in total perspective so you understand it. I'm going out with a client to put their dog under pressure and see how good it is. It doesn't matter what client it is, and we'll talk about this openly, behind closed doors, anything. It's not dropping anyone. There's no bad feeling, right? What I'm saying is I'm asking you the question. So you're hunting your dog. I'm carrying the game bag with dummies in it. And I want to surprise the dog and the handler and see how sharp and quick the handler is. When I blow the stop whistle, I blow it for a reason. Not one reason, a number of reasons. Does anybody know why? Give me those number of reasons. I'm leaving it for people to give their opinion. Right, so for 25 years, 30 years, I have stop is stop. Steve Pace is in the house. Great. All right, Steve. Right. So 25, 30 years, I haven't changed my training in the aspect of what I do when I'm training with someone. You will have watched the videos where the people are hunting. I blow the stop whistle. The dog looks at me because I've blown the stop whistle. There's a noise. The dog knows what the stop whistle means, whether it's a different pitch or the handler's blown it or I've blown it. The dog will spin around and go, what's going to happen? Because we teach the dog there's going to be something pleasurable if you spin around and look. Now, do we want the dog to look at the owner, or do we want the dog to look in the direction of the noise? We want the dog to look in the direction of the noise. So if the two people are out shooting together and you're shooting people and you're working your dogs, and the guy on the left flushes a bird with his dog, it gets up, but the guy on the right shoots it, the dog will look in the direction of the shot, the noise. The stop is a positive. You're dead right. Stop means stop. But what I'm saying is, it's not just stop means stop. It means, look at me, something's going to happen. And in that split second, whether you throw the dummy first and blow the stop whistle, or you get your timing so precise that you stop whistle, you see the dog's looking at you, and you throw the dummy. You're teaching the dog to mark. You're teaching the dog to mark. So that's one reason. 2, you're testing the dog's steadiness. 3, you're teaching the dog that the stop whistle means there's something coming. Get ready. Right? That's the importance of the stop. Now, it's really simple. If I take a dog and I teach it to sit in a nice soft manner on a place board, and then start to increase it, throwing dummies around the dog, walking over, picking them up, that is nowhere near the temptation while that dog is sat as a dog hunting and seeing movement. When a dog is hunting out in the field, the dog will see movement. Simple as that. The dog will see movement. That dog has more chance of running in on movement than it is sitting if you've not got your training right. If you use overemphasis on discipline too soon, you can make the dog sticky. You can make the dog not sure and keen for racing out. The noise of the shot is a positive too if taught correctly. Of course it is, yeah. But the noise of the shot, if the dog's learnt to run in, takes it up another level to be unsteady. The idea is a guy who shoots over his dogs will give the dog more understanding by shooting over him than a guy who doesn't shoot over his dogs. And the understanding is you've been on a shoot and you've been picking up and you're standing back and you're watching what's happening way out in front, and you see a bird take off, and then you see the bird falling out the sky, and then you hear the shot. That's because it's at a distance, isn't it? And the shot takes time to get back to you because it's got to go up out the gun, and in that second it's like the bird's falling and then you hear the shot. The dog, if you've got the gun next to you and you're shooting, the dog's going to realize that you're the person to look at and look in the direction of the gun. So gun sense makes a lot of difference with a dog. So if a client is hunting their dog in front of me, I blow the stop whistle and throw a dummy, what would you expect the dog to do? What would you want the dog to do? Would you want the dog to carry on hunting because it's not the owner's stop whistle, or would you expect the dog to run in because it's not the owner's stop whistle? Come on then. This is the problem when it's 15-second delay. It means you're all Googling it. Expect it to stop. Well done. Exactly. Well, I shouldn't have said that, should I? Because if everyone now says stop, 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 I've manipulated the debate. And it's open, good debate. Expect it to stop until told to go. Exactly. Right. So now let's put this now into competition. Whoever's run in competition, whether it's a test or whether it's a trial, if you're running a dog in a test and you've got another dog the other side of you like you would normally have, now some tests are quite away from each other, but a good test will put the dogs reasonably close to each other because you're going to test one dog on a retrieve and steadiness, the other dog's going to have steadiness, and you're going to test the other dog for marking ability and getting out without much handling. Simple as that. So in a test, if a shot is fired, whether the guy is hiding behind a tree in front of you or standing at the side of you, if a shot is fired, your dog is supposed to stop. Would you or would you not blow your stop whistle as soon as you hear a shot? Yes, blow the stop. No, not blow. John Griffiths, not blow the stop whistle. Bloody hell, you're a brave guy. You're a brave man. Both should drop the shot and I would blow the whistle to stop. Fog Stop dog on shoot. Blow it. Gary, no, you wouldn't blow it, Gary. You wouldn't blow the whistle to stop your dog. Oh, I don't know. Just depends on how experienced the dog is. You're right, Peter, but guess what? Go and watch championship videos. Too many questions tonight, Chris. I'm going back to the drink. There you go, Michael. Goodbye. This is the thing, isn't it? Too deadly, isn't it? Too deadly sometimes, debate, isn't it? And the whole point of it is, it takes a brave man when a bird takes off. If you think your dog's going to stop, I can tell you this. I have shot thousands and thousands of birds over thousands and thousands of dogs. And even experienced dogs, I blow that stop whistle. Now, should the dog stop? Yes, it should. But guess what? On competition, you're going home. I blew mine on the last test I entered. Yep. Guess what? It's a long way home when you don't blow the stop whistle. You said, I didn't think my dog would move. So what I'm saying to you, when you're training young dogs, you would automatically blow the whistle because you're teaching the behavior. Once you've got an experienced dog, like Wiz, I could probably quite easily, when he was in his peak and he could hear me, and I was shooting over him on a regular basis, bird gets up, I could go bang, and he wouldn't go till I told him. I don't sit there when birds are dropping out the sky, when I'm picking up, blowing the stop whistle to Wiz. He just sits there. A dropping bird does not mean you can go. It does not mean you can go, and I don't need to enforce it with the stop whistle. But a dog hunting, and especially on the end of a bird with some drive, I blow the stop whistle. I blow the stop whistle because I'm educating the dog. Not talking about a overtrained Labrador. I'm talking about dog with drive, that you create drive, you've got desire, and you want the best out of your dog. So the whole point of it is as an educational thing and a safety factor, like somebody said on here, especially if you're shooting over rabbits crisscross. If you take your half dog, I know someone mentioned this in the group. I'm not going to mention names. They said they were hunting up with a dog. The other dog, they blew the stop. Somebody fired a shot, blew the stop. He blew the stop whistle, and he carried on hunting on. And the judge said, "Hang on, stop your dog." Of course, you're supposed to stop your dog. If you hear a shot, your dog's supposed to stop. You're supposed to stop to the shot. It doesn't matter if you've got the gun in your hand or someone else has got the gun in their hand. The dog can't have the distinction of, hang on, he's got a gun and my own master's got a gun, but it wasn't his gun. I'm going to carry on hunting. The whole point is your dog's got to stop, because they're going to then send the dog for the retrieve, one of the dogs, and the other dog's got to sit there steady. When me and Sol go out training together, that's the rule we use for steadiness. Whoever flushes a bird, the other dog must stop, so the handler needs to be on the whistle. Absolutely spot on, Steve. Absolutely spot on. I agree 100%. But look at it this way. If your dog has never been put under pressure and you want a real good stop on that dog, a positive, parks its arse on a sixpence, this is going back to exactly what Denver said. The dog will do a number of paces towards it. That means Denver's not come down heavy on the dog at this point, firm enough, or he's not built it up in stages with temptation getting higher and higher before he takes it on game. Not saying he's took it on game. What I'm saying is, let's just take Ian, for instance, on Sunday. What did Ian say on Sunday? He said he can't wait to get down to Chris. He said, I want to put my dogs under temptation on game and really put the stop on them properly. Right? Now, he can sit his dog up and he can walk back to the car. Doesn't move. But sitting the dog up and walking back to the car, or sitting the dog up and throwing a dummy, when you tell it to stay, it's not the same temptation as a moving target as the dog's hunting. The moving target as the dog's hunting is far more temptation. Do you agree or disagree? Agree or disagree? You might not like this the way I'm putting this, but I'm trying to talk about dog training for a change, rather than talking about squirrels and nuts and monkeypox.
Kira Taylor says, do you lose points if you blow the stop in a test?
Nope. Right. So you agree, and that to me is important, because Listen, if people come to me for training and then they start to tell me I've done it wrong and that's not the way they train, they got to train the way they train. If they've got an absolute rock steady dog, I'm going to go, how did you do that? How do you do that? But if you've got a dog that's creeping or you've got a dog that's moving, then if you want to learn, you've got to take it on board and learn. And in our group on Patreon, that's the wonderful thing about the group. We can have a disagreement, but we can also have a debate. That's exactly right, Steve. Movement is what the dog gets motivated for. So I need to let the dog go wrong to put it right. So I would not expect a young dog to stop without blowing the stop whistle, because you make it sticky, you confuse it. But once you've had a number of hundreds and hundreds of repetitions, this is what I say to you. If you go out and you flush 1,000 birds and stop the dog for 1,000 birds before you shoot over it, you have a far steadier dog. I guarantee if you've not got the steadiness on the dog and you start shooting over it and it realizes the value of the shot means there's a retrieve, and the fun at the high value of chasing something and catching it gets into the mindset of the dog, you're then going to have to change your discipline and up the discipline to the level that you might not be willing to do, because you might be thinking, is that dog training? Why is this dog doing this to me? The dog is doing it to you because you've allowed it. You've turned a blind eye. You've not done your training right. There's a reason why I train the way I train and build it up in sequences. And the dog has got to understand what sit means before I give it punishment. But just because it now knows what sit is without temptation, it doesn't mean I'm going to punish it badly if it goes wrong under temptation. I'm still going to educate it. So this is the thing. If I blow the stop whistle, whether it's my dog or somebody else's dog, and their dog pops 3 or 4 places, this is what Denver's on about. This is why I've gone there. If it pops 3 or 4 movements before stopping, or someone has to shout at it, hey, sit up, right? Or threaten it and run at it, guess what it's not getting? Come on, you guys, you must be guessing this. You must be on this track. You must be. He's fucking on a roll tonight, Chris is. What would your dog not be getting if it moves? If you've thrown a dummy, there you go, Denver. Spot on. First one in the house. Honestly, Denver, you're quicker than most. Peter Piper's had to look that up on the freaking Google. The send. Yep. A positive. Exactly. If every time the dog runs in and gets away with it, it gets worse because the dog's getting a positive for not listening. I thought Michael McLaughlin had left the auditorium and gone back to the jungle. He filled his glass up. Good old Michael. I thought we'd lost you there. The reward, exactly. So there is madness behind my training, but there's sequences. Years ago, what I used to do, because I know it works and it works really well, but society today would throw you under the bus. You saw what happened to that footballer who kicked his cat. 120 hours community service. That's going to be a bit of a shitter, isn't it? Eh? It's going to be a bit of a shitter for him, isn't it? Not allowed to have a cat. Not allowed to have pussy for 6 months. Oh, 6 years, isn't it? 5 years, something like that. Arlie has not been sitting up quick enough. He had to be put back on the. Hang on, let's read that. Honestly, I can't believe Arlie would be pushing you. Such a soft dog like Arlie. Sitting up quick enough, and he had to be put on the spot a few times. He has then flushed a couple of birds tonight and sat up like a soldier. Exactly, Peter. Exactly. But what I was saying to you is going back 20 years, we never used to build it up. We used to say sit to the dog. If it didn't sit, we used to give it a negative. We never used to work on positives to make a dog sit. But now we've changed, and we've changed for the better. But I tell you what, you get a far better sit if you come down freaking heavy on the dog. I tell you what, because it remembers it for the rest of its life. It's like a shock. But guess what? Today's trainers won't tell you to do that. They'll tell you to take 6 months and nurture the dog and give it a bit of cheese. And don't do anything negative with your dog. When in reality, what are you going to do when your dog, the value of the cheese is not good enough and the dog's running in? And it's got the higher value and learnt that the fun of the chase is far more important than listening to you. What are you going to do? Step it up? because if you do and you don't step it up in the right way, the dog will push through that and go, it's more rewarding chasing around, not listening to you, than getting it. And I'm not asking anyone to beat a dog. No way. I'm not into cruelty. I know when a soft dog needs verbal cues. I know when a soft dog needs the next step of temptation to educate it. And I know when a client or a trainer with their dog in front of me or send me a video is making a mistake. And sometimes I don't. If someone's coming to me and they put up a couple of videos before they come here and I see what I need to work on, I don't go, oh, you're doing that wrong. I wait till they come down and we address it. And for the last few videos, and when we were in Shap with Ian, I saw a few things with him and his dog that he was letting the dog get away with. And then I saw it in some videos he was doing it. And this is his older dogs. And then I seen it in the video with his young dogs. And if you train your first lot of dogs the same as you train your second lot of dogs, you'll end up with dogs with the same mistakes in them if you don't know what you're doing. Simple as that. So there's nothing having to go. Ian, if he was here, he has given me permission to talk about the subject of how I train. You know, like I said, we have good days, we have bad days, we have disagreements. But the important thing is you should never hold malice with someone. You should say your piece, say what you feel, and then move on. And like I said, Ian's been down and we've had a wonderful time. I would say that Ian was delighted to point out issues. Well, if Ian comes in on a Sunday night and he wants to talk about the issues or say he didn't think that the way I handled the situation was the way he liked, he has every right, because no one's going to lose the freedom of speech and no one's going to lose the freedom of debate. But I can tell you, and you're going to see the videos, that Ian said he's had a wonderful time. He's absolutely loved it. We nearly had to tuck him into bed last night with us because he couldn't. He was the hospitality was good. Let's just say that last night. And he's gone off and he's really enjoyed it. And he got quite emotional with the pictures of his dogs because he loves his dogs dearly. And it's wonderful to see. It's wonderful to see somebody with commitment and someone who really wants to get his dogs better. And like I said, on the video that I put up, I thank Ian for coming. It's for people like Ian who put their head above the parapet and say, here's me videos, have a look at them, tell me what you think, guys. Critique them, give me input. Everybody likes good input, don't they? But there's no point in just giving just good input if you see things that they could strengthen their training on. And that's the whole point about the group. It's not to bullshit each other. Worried he would get confused if I disciplined him. Hang on. I thought you meant Ian. I thought about bringing him back to the spot. I blew it, but I wanted to ask because he did ignore the stop and pick the retrieve. He stopped after a few steps, so worried he would. Yeah. All dogs are different, Denver. If I've got a headstrong dog, like a Corleone Spaniel with a bit of freaking balls, like, and wants to push the boundaries because I've not suppressed him from day one, and I've got Corleone dogs that are soft as well. The soft ones, you can't put the same pressure on as you can a harder dog, but you mustn't let a soft dog play you up. It's as simple as that. So if you've got a dog that can take chastisement and can take a correction, a firm correction, you're laughing, aren't you? Because if he doesn't hold any baggage, you're laughing. But it's like having a client that as soon as you go boo to them, you've done that wrong, they freaking start shaking and freaking crying. And I've seen trainers in the past. I've only had one woman here that turned to tears, and that was because she was emotionally wrecked because of personal issues. Not, I was direct with her, but it was like, and start throwing the baggage at me that, a past and all this shit. And I think, I'm training dogs. I'm not a freaking marriage guidance counselor, or I'm not a freaking therapist, but I am a therapist. That's the whole point. I have to tap into people's psyche and work the person out as much as the dog. Because some people you can go, don't be a fucking idiot, and they'll just fucking stop being an idiot. And when you say don't be a fucking idiot, you don't say it to everybody. But if you think you've worked them out and they got that little bit of banter with you, let's take Michael Ems, for instance. Michael Ems wouldn't throw his toys out the pram if I said, don't be a fucking idiot. He'd either challenge it or fucking learn from it because of the background he's from. But as a trainer, you have to read the person as much as you read the dog. But what I like is I'm not doing it because I'd have to do this. If I was looking at the camera and talking to you directly like that, that's what you're taught at business school. Look people in the eye when you're talking to them and don't take your eye off them and shake their hand very firmly. I'm sorry, but you can give eye contact to show that you're interested. We know some of the word. You can look somebody in the eye and dominate them. You can look a dog in the eye and dominate them. Some people stand really close to me when they're talking to me. I go, back off, fuck off. I don't want you in my face. I don't want you in my face like that, you know? Like, all right, Chris. And it's showing that they're really interested, but hang on, that's overpowering. And I'm a big lad. I don't get intimidated easy, but I don't want someone breathing it. I don't want to smell their garlic breath in my face. And I try and stand back a little bit. And hey, none of us are perfect. Sadly, I've had to say that a couple of times, haven't I, lately? None of us are perfect. Someone asked me, have you ever made mistakes? Of course I've made mistakes. We all make mistakes. That's what I like. If I'm doing something wrong, I need to know exactly, Peter. Exactly. But it's how you put yourself across, isn't it? Now, you don't learn if you don't. Now, the whole point of it is this is the good thing about the debate that you can have with me and not fall out. I'm not going to go get in your car and fuck off and never want to see you again. You can argue with me, but I'm going to argue back. I'm going to tell you that you don't know what you're talking about if you don't listen. But if you want me to sit down afterwards and give you a lecture on why I did what I did, and you want to ask me questions, fire away. But not at the time when we're out training. Else we're stopping and starting, because if I'm going to go, right, okay, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to throw a dummy, and I don't want you to send the dog till I tell you. And see that tree down there? It's not going to be anywhere near that tree. See that bush over there to the left, look? It may be close to that bush if I can get it close to that bush. Now, I'm multitasking. I have to read the dog. If the dog is going that way with the handler hunting, and I'm here on this side, and I want to throw a retrieve for the dog, I'm not going to wait till the dog goes out there, blow the stop whistle and throw the dummy before I blow the stop whistle. Why? Because the dog's not going to see it. I need the dog to see where it is. 1, I'm teaching the dog to mark. 2, I'm teaching steadiness. 3, I'm putting the dog under temptation. So as the dog turns and comes across me, that's when I blow the stop whistle. Then technically the dog should look at me, see the retrieve out there, not go till told. Now, if the dog stops for a split second and then runs in, and the handler goes, get out, once it's run in, what is the handler doing for his own dog? Explain that to me, please. Did you understand that? Was that simple? Was that in layman's terms or was that difficult? It's important. Do you want me to repeat it? Yes, yes, yes. That's the way, John. Yes, yes, yes. That's what I like. I like it. Yes, man. Encouraging it to run in. We know the dog knows what stop is because we've already seen the dog stopping in other previous videos. And now we're saying, when you come to me, Ian, we're talking about Ian. When you come to me, Ian, I'm going to take you to the next level with you sit and stop. Because all his dogs have a tendency, and people would have seen it in Shap a little bit. He sits them up, dummy's thrown, shots fired, dummy's thrown. Brilliant getting out there. Lovely, really good. Sometimes his dog goes before he tells it and he goes, get out, as it's already gone. He's encouraging it to run in. Peter Taylor, exactly. He's encouraging it to run in because what he's doing subconsciously, he's thinking, perhaps I didn't see that. Perhaps others didn't see it, but actually I can read it like a book. I can read it like a book. And this is no bad will between me and Ian in any way, guys. No bad will at all. We've talked about it. We've mastered it. We got it better. Now, the reason that I've mentioned it is because of what Denver said about the dog moving a couple of steps. If you allow that dog to get away with that, you create a problem. 2 steps become 4 steps, and 5 steps become 8 steps. Now allowing it to ignore you. Exactly. And Peter Taylor says, encourage it to run in, and that is the best thing you can say, because it may only be the dog's gone and you go, get out. It's too late. The dog should not move until you say. In your training, you vary it. If you send your dog after 1.2 seconds every time, the dog gets into the motion of sit for a second, I'm gone. Sometimes you sit the dog, you take your empty cartridges out. If you haven't got a freaking ejector, even with my ejector, I open them and put my thumb across because I don't want to bend down and have to pick the cartridges up, and I put them in my pocket. If I've shot something, I don't always send the dog instantly. If it looks like it's going to be a runner, I'll send the dog. But as a trainer, I vary it. 1 minute I make the dog wait about 5 seconds. 1 minute I wait the dog wait a couple of seconds. Sometimes I send the dog very, very quickly. Now, when you're judging a trial, you're not looking to put dogs out. And so if a bird is shot and it's flapping and it's been shot close, all you're doing is seeing if that dog is steady. If that dog's steady, you'll say send your dog. If the dog's not steady on a bird that gets up and it moves 2 feet, I might not put it out. I might not say put your dog on a lead. But I tell you what I'm going to do next time, if it gets another flush, I'm going to make it wait a couple of seconds before sending the dog. But if the dog goes when I'm judging you, I'm going to say, sorry, your dog ran in. So if it makes 2 steps, you're not going to have a top dog on the day if it makes 2 steps. But if it just arranges itself slightly to watch the bird away because it's come round from the cover, I'm going to give the dog the benefit of the doubt, because I'm going to say that's an intelligent dog. I'm not going to go, that fucking dog moved from inside the cover where it couldn't see it. If the dog comes to the edge of the cover and stops without the whistle, that's a clever dog. If you've got to go, sit up, you're in trouble. You're going home. And if you train like that when you're out training, then you're in trouble when you're getting the real stuff, because your heart's beating, your adrenaline's going, the dog's thinking, why are you quiet? Why aren't you shouting at me? But why are you blowing the whistle like a freaking idiot? Are you nervous? I'm nervous. We're all having fun. The dog won't read you as easy. Exactly. Yes, I've experienced that. They learn to read the routine you created. That's it. Dogs learn through repetition. And so that's why you've got to vary it, guys. And I think, and this is why I'm talking about this as well, because I've spent 2.5 hours on a video that is 40 minutes long, and it's the best video out of all the videos we've got. And we've got a lot of videos to put up for you to see about Ian's dog, and we sorted out a number of issues with Ian's dog, and they're fantastic. But the best video is where he is arguing with me, and I am not taking it, and I am giving him a little bit of grief and saying, right, do it your own way then. You do it your own way. I'll put the freaking dummy in, you show me. But I've already watched him, and I know I can improve with him. And we didn't fall out. We didn't go our separate ways. There was a 5 minute of like silence. Well, freaking like just carry on hunting, and then back to normal, getting on with it, learning. And that's what it's about when you train with people. You're going to have instances where the handler is a little bit sort of confused or questionable, and it's afterwards you sit down and discuss it. You don't discuss it on the moment and start arguing with the handler. And it's a great video, but I don't throw people under the bus. But I'd rather put the video up for the group to see, and you make your own mind up. Was I right? Was Ian right? Who was right? At the end of the day, they're the videos you all learn from. But no one wants to be made to look silly or somebody being threatening towards him. I wasn't threatening to Ian. Ian wasn't threatening to me. It was a difference of opinion. But if you go to a freaking racing car driver to learn how to drive a racing car, and you say, sit still, shut up, I've been driving for 20 years, trust me, and you wrap it round a freaking bend and upside down, he ain't going to be happy. So he's giving you his insight. You either take on board or you ain't going to learn, are you? It's as simple as that. You can argue the fact that, yeah, but I've never trained a dog to do that. That's not my fault. That's not my fault. It's on the videos. So this is the question, and I'm not talking out of school. I asked Ian a number of questions, and some things are private and won't get mentioned because we have times where we say things with each other we don't want other people to hear. But one of the things, and I'm 95% sure that Ian, well, I'm 100% sure Ian wouldn't mind. I said to him, do you like the short videos or do you like the longer videos? Do you like the 45-minute, the hour videos, or do you just like the 10-minute videos? What about your attention span? What about your time scale of busy lives? You guys tell me. Do you like some of the longer videos that give you a true insight into the whole of the lesson, or do you like? Don't forget, Ian's been here for 3 days nearly. You don't want to sit down for 3 days and watch video. I've got to break them down. Do you like them in their entirety, if possible, or do you like them just glossy, or do you like the shorter videos? The shorter videos are only 10 minutes, and it can keep your attention span buzzing, and you haven't got time to watch freaking shorter and more often. Shorter and more often, says Kerr. Right, longer, says Denver. Or do you like a mixed bag? Do you think we've got a nice mixed bag? Sometimes we've got shorter ones that you can sort of just flick through and think, yeah, I picked up that. That's good. Or do you like the longer stuff, the more detailed stuff? To me, I'll give you my opinion afterwards, but I wanted to give you I wanted your opinions on what you like, because the group, I watch a lot of other trainers, and when I watch a 5-minute video, it just bores me shitless sometimes. And then sometimes when I watch a long video, some of them long videos are so winded, they don't do nothing for me. But I've sat down with Sue and we've watched a video that's been on for 40 minutes. And if it's a good session and there's good stuff in it for people to learn from, we think, wow, where did that time go? It's as if we only watched it for 10 minutes because it was engrossed watching it. But if you get a video where someone's walking down a track and it takes them 10 minutes to fucking walk down the track and put the dummy down the track, and then they come back and you're fucking dizzy because the fucking camera's moving and it's up and down and you're not seeing the dog, you're seeing their feet, and then they turn around and send the dog and the fucking dog's not even in the shot, and then all of a sudden it's panning in on the dog as it hands the dummy to you, it does your head in, like watching the longer ones of you picking up with Wiz. Yeah, but picking up with Wiz isn't really teaching you much, Kira, is it? It's just showing you the polished dogs. Um, I'm talking about educational videos, but you've got to look at it this way as well, guys. You've got to look at it this way. Both, says Gary. Yeah, I agree. Both. I think you should mix it up myself. I think Steve said the same. I like any videos. They're all different. Yeah, that's the whole point. If how many times do I go on the internet and see someone throwing a freaking dummy, send a dog for it, and it's a 10-foot, 15-foot retrieve, and they go, oh, look at that, look. And 40 people give them a like. It's like, well done. Well done. But they're not explaining what they're doing during the video. They're not explaining why they're lining the dog up. And I like the fact that you get Chris on there, you get Ian on there, you get Steve on there. They explain what they're doing in the videos. You get people on there explaining what they're actually doing in the video to give you. Gary the same. He's giving you education of what he's doing and why he's doing it. These are the videos that I find are more important than just watching a dog run down the track and back. I don't know whether you've planted it down the track sometimes. I don't know if it's a blind. You're not explaining the fact the dog's run down there 40 times, but today is a blind. But sometimes I can read what's happening, and sometimes I've got to guess slightly that's happening. I like videos to be in focus. I like the good sound quality of the video. It makes so much difference. But as a dog trainer, you may be a brilliant dog trainer, but if you can't edit videos, you can't sell a story, because that's what it is. If you think about it, we're selling stories. I'm a storyteller, aren't I? I'm selling a story. I'm putting up a small clipboard of video to follow another video that helps you with heel work, helps you with control, helps you with discipline, talks about discipline, shows you the finished article, shows you a dog that, I try and mix it up a little bit. I don't want photos all the time. What's the photos going to do for you all the time? But then mix it up. I mean, Ian absolutely loved those photos. Ian sat with us after having food last night, and we didn't go to bed till 1:30 because I showed him how long it takes to take those photos, pick out the ones that we want to use, add them to music, manipulate them so they're zooming in and zooming out, mix it up, and make it an interesting watch. Some people, 5-minute video, they seem to like it. put up a 40-minute video with pictures, people are going to switch off. You can see on YouTube how long somebody watches a video. Now, if you're not watching those 40-minute videos, this is the question. If you're not watching the 40-minute videos because you can't be bothered to watch the 40-minute videos because you've got more happening in your life, or your mobile phone's going off all the time, or you're talking to somebody on Tinder, or you're talking to somebody on Snapchat or WhatsApp, and we've all got active lives, haven't we? Tell me, would you think that you're missing out if you're not watching those 40-minute videos? If you're just flicking through, and if it's 40-minute, you watch 10 minutes of it and then watch the rest of it. Do you think you're missing some of the better stuff? Yeah. And that's my job, guys and girls. That's my job to evaluate, ask those questions and see. Now, when somebody says to me, I only like the short videos, but I've already told them, you haven't got much of an attention span. When I'm talking to you, you're looking away. When I'm talking to you, you're thinking about the cuckoo in the freaking tree, or you're thinking about the grass is wet, or you're moving backwards and forwards instead of watching and listening and giving me eye contact. I don't want direct eye contact, but I can always tell when someone's listening really keen. And I don't mind people asking questions, but sometimes I say, shut the fuck up and ask me the questions at the end. Ask the questions when we sit down and have a cup of coffee. Ask questions when we watch the video back. You'll learn so much more. But if you're watching the video and you're not seeing the fine detail and you're not analyzing it, like I show you how to analyze it if you want to, you're missing bits. And like Peter says, he's guilty of that. He's always on holiday. Peter's always on holiday, Sue, isn't he?
Yeah.
Always on holiday, that man. Now, guess what? There's more hours to the day if I don't have to make 40-minute videos, because 40-minute videos take 2.5 hours to edit and put up and load. And you'll know that, guys, because when you send me a 10-minute video, some of you struggle to send a 10-minute video. So you have to have the equipment, you have to have the memory on the computer, you have to have the photography equipment to take the photos, you've got to have the video cameras all set up, you've got to have extra batteries everywhere. You are carrying around a portable pack for taking the videos and entertaining. I love it. I love it. It's my passion. I love training people and I love training dogs, but I only love it if I get results. I'm not willing to compromise. I'm not willing to say, all right, then we'll play your game. If you're not showing me a dog of a very high standard that is as good as what I can do, my brain ain't big enough to take in your nonsense of why you think it's better to do it another way. If your dog's steady, I might be ready to open up and learn, because I guarantee I don't care if you've been at it for 40 years or you've been at it for 5 minutes. If you come here with a dog and impress me and I see something that you can do better than me, I'll be asking you, how did you do that? How did you get that dog to do that? Right? Because that is how we learn. That is how we learn. I learn by visually watching things. Now, if you, Ian was really good, guys. We got a DVD here. I'm not going to show it you in a moment. We got a double DVD here. Ian, give it to me to give it as a prize. Shall we ask a question? And the first person to ask the question gets this advanced gun dog training double DVD video. What about that? Do you think we should do that tonight? There's a hell of a chance of getting it. There's only 30 of you in the house. Let's have a yes or no. Do you fancy? Right? Yes or no? Everybody in our group that puts up a video, in my eyes, I think it's courtesy to take the time to watch it better than watching TV. So we got, if we get a few people saying yes, we'll put this up. I'll pay packaging postage, you tight bastards. And you've got to thank Ian for, he brought it here. We've watched it. And it's advanced training video. It's not a copy. No, it's not a pirate. It's a original. There's not enough of you. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only 6. Got to have at least 10, Sue, don't we? Yes, if we're going to freaking 6. 6 for a masterclass double DVD. You don't even know it is yet. Never mind, we won't do it then. We'll do it another night when we got some hungry people in here. Perhaps you're watching too many videos. Anyway, wifey's been a bit quiet in the background. She's normally giving me grief, isn't she? She sprung one on me yes, the other day. Love a quiz, says Steve. He loves a quiz. I'm here to learn, and I've learned so much so far. Yep. And do you know what? The guys who learn, the guys who watch the videos, the guys who soak it in, the guys who are hungry. Taking your dog out all the time, training it, doesn't make it the best dog. It's knowing when to take it out, when to give it a mental break. Ian is mad keen to get as much information out of me as possible. But when his dogs hit the wall and they've had enough, it's time to put them away and say, give them a break. Give them a break. So, 56 minutes and 21 seconds. I don't know if you found that interesting talking about that. The videos that coming up, we're going to put up the good, the bad, and the ugly. But I'm going to ask Ian first whether he wants me to put it up in its entirety for the group to see, or whether he wants me to just edit it. Now, each of us is different. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus and make them look silly, but it's down to each individual. And at the end of the day, it's not my dogs have had a night off. Yeah, it doesn't matter. World of good, Steve, doesn't it? I'm not here to throw anybody under the bus and make them look stupid. Peter Taylor, great session tonight, Chris. Cheers, Peter. And like I say, I've got monkeypox, you lot, so freaking you'll have to bear with me. Bear with me. No, it's a monkey. I've got so many freaking phobias at the moment. I'm not eating bananas the way I used to. Honestly. Sue used to peel them for me. I'm peeling them myself and loving it. Making the strangest of noises, though, at the same time. So I'll see you Sunday for anybody who wants to come in on Sunday night. Thanks for joining the live feed tonight. Any questions? You've got 2 minutes. I hope I've answered your questions. You two guys who asked questions. There was only 2 questions, wasn't there, Sue?
Yeah.
All right.
Graham Allison. No, not that one. No, Graham said to me, if after watching a video and when it finishes, I am surprised it was longer than I thought. Was watching it, it's been good regardless of length.
Yeah, thanks, Graham. And I try and vary it, because at the end of the day, if I was doing the same thing all the time, then what's the point? Because you might as well just have 2,000 videos on there and just like Patreon actually say, if you want to bring in more members and keep the members longer, what you've got to do is you've got to limit the videos and make them hungry. Only put up 2 or 3 videos. See, Steve's got it spot on. That's what I'm saying, Steve. With this freaking monkeypox, if you start throwing your shit at people, then I would worry. Monkeypox. It's just making you forget. It's making you scratch your freaking arms like that, lately, and all this shit. Like, it's doing me head in. My eyes are watering. Right. I keep singing Funky Gibbon for some reason. Funky Gibbon. Remember that? Monkeys? Was it not Monkeys? Was it Funky? Or is it not? Wasn't the Monkeys? Who was that? Goodies. The Goodies. Like Peter says, like the dogs, give them a break from it, makes them keen. Yes, it does. And if you come here for training, I love the fact that Ian turned up with 4 dogs, because we could work 1 dog and then swap it over and work another dog, and we could stay out longer. But then when you come back, if you only give them half an hour, what we're doing now, I say, hang on, your dog's had enough. You've put your dog under pressure. You've taught it this, you've taught it that. And then because he was here for like 3 days, he's got loads in there. He might have wanted to get more in there if he could, because he wants to get crammed in as much as possible. That's not being lazy. That's not trying to turn somebody over. Some dogs can take more and some dogs can't. And then he said, on this, I think the second day, you can see it. They've hit the wall. It's time to stop. That's part and parcel of it. We went through so many different things. You'll love the videos that we're putting up. There's some great banter, some great laughs. You'll crack up with a few of the videos we've got. They were so funny. I won't explain what happened until you see the videos because you'll laugh your heads off. But it's about having a connection with your client. It's about having a connection with your dogs. Steve, I'm coming next Wednesday and I'm bringing those. So hopefully have a good day. I'm bringing all three. Yep, brilliant, Steve. Look forward to seeing you. And I've got a guy coming over from Ireland. Who's that coming over soon? Coming over from Ireland on Friday. Ben for 3 days, I think.
Denver said he really liked the videos you put up with Ian.
Yeah, and Ian did as well. And like I said, without you guys, without the clients, this group wouldn't be what it is. And without the clients willing to put up the videos, warts and all, but we're not there to throw anybody under the bus, but we've got to be honest about it. I'm lining up a day in August. There you go, Richard. There you go. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and hope you enjoyed the show tonight. I tried to talk about dog training for a change because I thought to myself, not being funny, I'm just getting a little bit fed up with not talking about dog training on a Wednesday night because I thought that's what we were doing in the first place. But I know when lockdown was on, it turned into a bit of a drinking session. But I don't mind the banter. I love the banter. I'm that sort of guy as well. But I do like to talk dogs if you want to talk dogs. Cheers. Bollocks to you all. Thanks for tuning in. Take it easy. I think Ian's in his dark room freaking lying down. He's not here tonight, is he? He did make it home all right, though, guys. And he said thank you, and I said thanks to him. So bollocks to you all. See you all later. Chris Upton and Sue signing off.